Okay, hello everyone, good afternoon, and welcome to the first C2U Erasmus Plus joint project webinar. My name is Alberto Forte, and I'm the co-leader of the Erasmus Plus joint project task force, a group of experts that has been recently appointed by our alliance to support our community to apply for joint Erasmus Plus Key Action 2 projects. The webinar will last 1 hour, so it will end at 5. We plan to have 10 minutes before the end to answer to questions that you can write down on the chat. You can find on the bottom of the screen. So during the webinar, please feel free to write your questions, and at the end we will pick up some of them and we will try to reply to them. Yeah, that's why the webinar will be organized. This is the first webinar. We plan to have more occasions in the future, but we will tell you about this issue later on. So first of all, I have the pleasure to introduce, for some introductory words, the coordinator of the C2U Alliance, Ludovic Tilly. So Ludovic, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Alberto. Good afternoon to all. It's a pleasure to be here today with you at this first ever EC2U webinar on joint projects under Erasmus. Well, indeed, as introduced by Alberto, I'm Ludovic Tilly, the Coordinator General of the EC2U Alliance and Vice Rector at the University of Poitiers, in charge of the European dimension of our university. And this is also why I'm personally very interested in the webinar, because this service, if I may say, that we now offer to the EC2U community is very well aligned with the whole objectives of the EC2U Alliance. Maybe in a few words, for those who do not know if this is still the case, the EC2U Alliance, so EC2U is the acronym for European Campus of City Universities. This is an alliance of European universities funded by the European Commission under the Erasmus Programme. We have also collected with time a diversity of additional projects under Horizon 2020 and other programs. It is composed today of 8 universities, and we'll go through the map of Europe by saying that we have with us in the Alliance University of Coimbra, Salamanca, Pavia, Poitiers, the coordinating institution, Jena, Iași, Turku. The recent partner is Linz in Austria, and we will soon, as of the 1st of May, welcome the 9th full partner, which is the University of Umeå from Sweden. And this group of 9 top universities are going to continue through the EC2U Alliance to cooperate in education, research, innovation, and service to society. We have already well-defined work plan for the years to come, but we realize that it is actually very important for the sustainability of the Alliance that we offer to the community of teachers, researchers, students, associated partners, the capacity to go beyond the mothership, if I may call it, that is funded by the European Commission, and therefore came this idea to create a task force of experts in the field of engineering of Erasmus Plus projects. And this is actually the first webinar that these colleagues have kindly agreed to organize. So again, as you will see today, this is an opportunity for you to first maybe better know what is the Erasmus program. You probably have all in mind the classical semester mobility for the students, but actually the Erasmus program offers much more than this. And the colleagues are also here to help you, to guide you through the different strands of the Erasmus program to maybe make your dreams of cooperation come true through the funding of your project. Just for your information as well, it's good to know that we have also settled an equivalent task force for the research and innovation projects. So there is now really a full portfolio of opportunities for which we have experts at the service of the community. So I will stop here because it's more important that you now hear what our experts have to tell you about the Erasmus Plus program, and I hope that this will be useful to all of you, and I thank you in advance for your commitment to the C2 Alliance. Have a good webinar.
Thanks a lot, Ludovic, for your kind words and for the introduction to this webinar. Now I will pass the floor to my colleague Stephanie Waterstand, the co-leader of this task force, who will explain more in detail which are the main objectives and the concrete support that our task force can give to you. Please, Stephanie.
Hello to everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Stefanie Waterstraat. I'm working in the Central International Office of Jena University in Germany, and we are supporting our colleagues, professors and PhD students, postdocs, in preparing such kind of EU cooperative projects in the field of KA2 and KA3. And now I will just give you a short overview what the main objectives and goals of our working group are for 2025 and the upcoming years within the Alliance. So we would like to support you as our target group here in the webinar and professors and postdocs and students in our Alliance to have a good overview about the applications within Erasmus Plus and to prepare the informations for you so that you have a good access to it and that you have a good overview what might be prepared, what might be on the horizon, and what might fit your fields of interest. Therefore, we created this group of experts to give you this support and to enhance and foster the exchange within our academic community. So to make those programs more visible and also to offer the possibility to get better network within this academic community. Our offers we are, or what the way we can reach out to you is to provide external stakeholders, for instance, associated partners. Those are partners that are not purely like part of the university, but they can be, for instance, companies or schools in the region, etc. So we have a good overview of those potential associated partners, and we can share this overview with you. And another task we are having in our task group working group is to integrate the new partners, such as Ludovic was just mentioning, Linz in Austria, UMEA starting in May from Sweden, and Lviv as an Ukrainian partner is an associated partner because they do not belong to the European Union, but they are a very important partner for us as well. So as we said, we are going to promote those funding opportunities. Background idea is that we might be more successful in joining our forces within the Alliance with all the partners we are having in the different countries. And we are going to offer from now on a regular basis webinars. We could also define and offer some thematic workshops. This depends also on your needs, what you might looking for. And what we want to establish as well is guidance to transform just the ideas you have and to create just more joint projects together. Target groups I already mentioned, professors, staff, associated partners are also you also have the opportunity to reach out to the communities to get support for the communities. Means, for instance, also creating a network, as I said, with the university and maybe the city, as we are called the European Campus of City Universities. So this is also an idea to not just only stay in the academic bubble. We would like to create more synergies than we did already. And as I said, strengthening the connections that are already existing and strengthening them even beyond where we are right now. So we are looking forward to circulate and disseminate project ideas in 2025 and also in the next years, collecting them, sharing them, promoting them. And at the end of the presentation, then we are also looking forward to your questions.
So thank you, Stephanie, for this overview. So this was just an introduction to let you know who we are and which support we can give to you. So you have to know that this task force has been created within the Alliance. This means that in each of the C2U university there is an expert. Now today we have in the panel some of them, but there's one representative for each university, so you can reach him or her and ask for support. And so we will do our best to, as Stephanie was saying, to transform ideas into projects. Now we go to the core of this event, that is giving an overview of the main funding opportunities for teachers and researchers that the Erasmus Plus program give to you. So we have selected some of them for this first webinar, and in the future we can also organize specific sessions for different actions. So for this reason, I pass the word to my colleague Gaia Garancini, who will start to present you the main funding opportunities. Please, Gaia.
Thank you, Alberto. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. As Alberto was mentioning, I will shortly present some of the opportunities of financing offered by the Erasmus Plus program. This is the very first and preliminary slide. You can see that the Erasmus Plus program is an overall program made with the scope of supporting the actions of the European Union in education, training, youth, and sport. The budget is a quite generous one, as you will see, and the funding channels of the programs are different. We have Key Action 1, which will not be the topic of today's session, and which is the key action more focused on individual mobility, so the classical Erasmus program for students and staff, if you wish. And then Key Action 2, which is basically and precisely the focus of today's webinar, which is about building partnerships, alliances, as the C2U1 is one of them, and then the skill development project. So this is really about creating synergies and connection between different higher education institutions in order to reach goals, common goals, and go beyond the EU area in order to address the needs of non-EU partners, as we will see in a minute. The very first program I would like to present today is the Erasmus Mundus section. Erasmus Mundus, in a nutshell, is all about constructing joint master degrees. So it's about constructing educational paths, which should be joint, again, so built with a partnership with different institutions, which should be excellence and innovative by nature, meaning that the point of the action is to bring it together the strengths and the more advantage and cutting-edge content of which institution can bring in order to create a very new and innovative joint master degrees to offer both to EU and not EU students. Since one of the main features of this action is the attractiveness, meaning that the point of this joint master degree should be the one of attracting non-EU students, excellent non-EU students, and fostering the internationalization, the main dimension of the European higher education area. This is a quite competitive action, if I may say, and is divided into different strands. The very first one is a preparatory one. Its name is Erasmus Mundus Design Measures, and as the very name indicates, is a preparatory step, meaning that it's designed in order to help institutions to design the joint master, to prepare it, to fine-tune the project, for them being able to deliver it. So it's a smaller project. We will see in a second that the budget available is quite limited in a way. And it's a sort of a preparatory step in order to reach the second and more ambitious strand, which is Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Action itself. The second strand is about delivering the joint master, so building it, constructing it, and making it a reality. The master should be offered by a minimum of 3 higher education institutions belonging to 3 different countries. 2 of these countries must be EU ones. while others came from non-EU countries, meaning that we can involve partner institutions from not EU countries to foster and to integrate the content of the master. This is a very important feature of this action, is that non-academic partners as well can be included. And this is to go back to Stephanie's point about taking advantage of the expertise and of the joint added value that non-academic partners can bring to this kind of initiatives, institutional one. So again, these are some key information about the two different strands. As I was mentioning, the very first one, Erasmus design measures, is a more limited one. The budget is 60,000 euros and the duration is 15 months at the maximum, while the second strand is more complex. The budget is very much higher, as you will see. And you have to keep in mind that this budget is intended to cover different kinds of items. First of all, the student scholarship, which is to say that one of the main pillars of this action is enabling students from not EU countries to take part of in the master and to benefit from the excellence and innovation characters of the master. Then we have an item which can be covered, which is institutional costs related to the welcoming and of integrating the students to the academic community. And then we have some other items which are individual needs of students and specific scholarship from students coming from target countries, which can be defined at the application phase. One important feature that has to be taken into account is that the point of this master is to jointly deliver the content and the educational path. So it's a common thing that students should travel and change institution from one semester to the other, meaning that each institution can bring the very best of its academic offer in order to construct and to build a very innovative and integrated joint master degree. The duration here is longer, as you will see. The point is that 6 academic years are covered and a minimum of 4 editions of the master have to be guaranteed. And one other important information here to mention is that when the application is submitted, the master should be ready to be run. So this is, as I was mentioning, a really competitive and an important measure. And the very preparatory step is often required in order to be ready then to go and to proceed with the second strand, let's say. This is about joint master degrees, and then we can maybe go to the capacity building in higher education action. Thank you, Alberto. This is again an action based on the purpose of building a partnership. This partnership should be made again of higher education institution, and here the purpose is to address and to build a specific action in order to benefit third countries not associated to the program. So basically, not EU countries. Here, our starting point should always be the need and the specific aspect which some, for instance, not EU countries, higher education institution would like to strengthen, would like to make better and foster. And this can be a variety of things, as you will see in the left part of the slide. This can be building new study programs or improving institutional governance structures, or again, promote reforms within the higher education institution based on the Bologna process. So any kind of need or weakness we can identify within higher education institution belonging to not EU country, and any kind of demand and request that can come from their side can be addressed with specific actions and methodologies for sure. And this is the core of this very action. Getting to the key information of this kind of financing action again, we have the strengths structure. So this action is based on 3 different kind of strengths. It is really, a summary slide, but in case of this, we can get more details about this content. We have strand 1, which is a basic one, and intended to attract them to work with institution, newcomer institution, or with really, basic, let's say, needs. Then we have strand 2, which is more transformation in higher education and is a kind of a medium length and medium complexity project. And then we get to strand 3, which is really the most important in a way, but also complex and difficult action to carry out, if I may say, because here we are working on structural reforms for higher education system in target countries. So in this trend, it is compulsory to involve also ministry, higher education institution governance and structure, so that we are sure that our action does not only target higher education institutions themselves, but goes beyond and covers really, you know, the more wider higher education institution system in the target country. The budget accordingly vary a lot from, you know, the lowest one, which is 200,000 euros, up to $1 million. And the duration, again, is varying a little bit according to the different structure. The partnership can be national one, so we can like construct partnership targeting just one nation, one country, and multi-country one in the other side, so that we can target different countries within the same region. And here you see that for structural projects we have to include ministries of higher education institution, so that we can really make a difference within the wider higher education setting in the target countries. Here we have an example for you to better understand what can be done within this kind of action. This is a project coordinated by the University of Pavia, whose name is MAGIC, Microeconomics for Justice and Inclusive Growth. So we here are a coordinator here in Pavia, and the project targets universities in Colombia and in Bolivia. And we are working together with other institutions in Italy and Denmark to reach our goals. Here, the main need from which we departed was the need of strengthening the research and teaching capabilities of our partners, because they really needed our help to be better equipped to develop macroeconomics models, so to go in depth in the preparation and the development of this kind of academic content. So we designed the project, and we are actively in this moment realizing some training. So we went into in Colombia and Bolivia, and our trainees came to Europe again to deepen the training. We are developing some research units in order to allow the universities to be able to cover and to tackle this specific kind of content or topic. And overall, we are strengthening the capacities of the higher education institution to support policymakers and to make the difference in the developing of this content for the society overall. This was our specific expertise, and really this is an action which can highly improve the quality of education and the impact which higher education institution can have in all EU countries targeted to the program. And with this, I think it's the end of my part, and I give the floor to Petronella for the following part. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaia. Hello, everyone. I'm Petronella Spiridon also, and I'm a member of the administrative staff of the International Office of Alexandru Ioan Cuza, University of Iași, and also a local coordinator within EC2 Alliance. I'm very glad to be here today with you and with my colleagues from the EC2 Alliance to share the opportunity offered by the Erasmus program. As my colleague already have highlighted, the Erasmus program allows us to collaborate on and implement projects that align with the program actions. At the European level, the European Education and Culture Executive Agency of the European Commission is responsible for directly implementing and managing several actions within the Erasmus program. And this action includes partnership for excellence, such as the Erasmus Mundus action and capacity building initiative already presented by my colleague Gaia. At the same time, the Erasmus program is mainly implemented through indirect management. This means that the European Commission delegates budget implementation tasks to national agencies, ensuring that Erasmus is brought as close as possible to its beneficiary. So national agencies implement and manage cooperation partnership in various fields, such as higher education, adult education, vocational education and training, school education, sport, and youth. The main objective of cooperation partnership is to allow organization and institution to increase the quality and relevance of their activities, to develop and reinforce their partners' network, to increase their capacity to collaborate jointly on a transnational level, promoting the internationalization of their activities. Additionally, this partnership aims to facilitate the exchange and development of new practices and methods, as well as the sharing and discussion idea. Throughout a project of cooperation partnership, its institution often engage a wide variety of activities, and this can range from traditional approach to more creative and innovative initiative. So it could involve the project management activities, ensuring adequate planning, implementation, follow-up activity, also implementation activities, and this can include networking events, meetings, and working sessions to exchange practices and development results, and also sharing the promotion activities, organization of conferences, sessions, and events to share, explain, and promote the project results. In the field of higher education, the priority activities carried out by a cooperation partnership are promotion of the interconnected education system, dissemination of innovative learning and teaching practices, development of the STEAM approach, development of culture and of quality, training of academic staff in new pedagogies, development of new practices in instructional design, and also support for digital and entrepreneurial skills, and so on. All these activities must take place in the country of the organization participating in the project. Cooperation partnership is a transnational project, and that must involve at least 3 institutions from 3 different EU member states. But however, there is no maximum number of participating organizations in one partnership. If it's relevant and essential for the project, also organizations from the third countries not associated to the program can be involved as partner. The project will be submitted by the coordinated institution on the European platform by selecting the national agency from the country in which it is located, and will take into account EU priorities, paying more attention to those that are particularly relevant in the national context. The duration of a cooperation and partnership project can be between 12 and 36 months, and there are 3 predefined lump sum grants available, corresponding to the total grant amount for the project. These are 120,000 euro, or 250,000 euro, or 400,000 euro. And the applicants can choose from these 3 predefined amounts based on the activities they plan to undertake and the result they want to achieve. So when planning the project, the most appropriate lump sum amount based on the objectives has to be chosen to cover the cost. In conclusion, before thanking for your attention, I would like to add also that being part of the EC2 Alliance offers significant advantage when writing cooperation partnership projects, as it provides a solid foundation for all partner universities to initiate cooperation partnership projects, ensuring top quality results and impactful international collaboration. The key benefits provided by the Alliance include shared expertise and resources, access to innovative practices, and strong network of partners. Now, in order to have an example of this kind of project, I will pass the word to my colleague Miriam Lopez from the University of Salamanca. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Petronella. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miriam Lopez. I work as a local coordinator for EC2 in Salamanca. So I'd like to give you a very brief example of what Petronella was explaining. Salamanca is coordinating currently the project that's called Communicate with other 2 universities of the EC2 Alliance as partners, which is the University of Coimbra and Poitiers. and also along with the University of Bologna, Warsaw, and University of Heidelberg and Kyiv in Ukraine. So the budget of the project is 400,000 euro, and the project duration is 36 months, so from 2023 to 2026. So basically, Communicate is a project that has to create a language first aid kit for humanitarian emergency situations, such as the one that's currently happening in the Ukraine, and also to be able to sort of export of those good practices and knowledge to other similar situations and other similar projects. So it's quite interesting. It's also aimed for non-governmental organizations, not only the partners, but also volunteers, and like I said, to produce results extensible to other circumstances. So Professor Garcia Alonso, he's the network coordinator of this project. He is connected as well as one of the participants. And also, if you have any questions regarding this project, he'll be very happy to answer. So basically, KITE is like a different, like I said, different set of tools that goes from 1 to 6 into different communication assets, creating things such as a pictographic glossary, sounds of language, communicative interaction, non-verbal communication, and with lots of training and a guide. There's been many, as Petronella was explaining, many previous meetings and also different trainings, start weeks, and so on and so forth within this project. This is just to give you a very short example with this cooperation partnership projects. So now I give the word back to Alberto. Yes, so thank you.
Okay, thank you for all the colleagues who presented the three action. Here we have an overview of the different actions that we have presented with the deadlines. Of course, the 2025 deadlines are very close, and this webinar is not intended to promote necessarily applications this year, but it's worth mentioning that, as you might know, the Erasmus Plus program open a regular call every year, and the deadlines are more or less always the same. So we have now these 2025 deadlines, but you can already keep in mind that in 2026 and then again in 2027 there will be other calls where I mean covering the same actions, and yeah. So this is the overview. So I just would like to add to reinforce one point that has been already raised by some colleagues, that we that being part of a European alliance, when it comes to applying for the Erasmus Plus project, it is seen as a value added from the evaluators, from the national either the national agencies or the central agency in Brussels. So really we push we push you to try to connect and to apply for joint projects, because this is seen as a sustainability tool for the alliances to keep going on, and also widening the activities that have already been financed. So we have finished this part of the session slightly before what was expected. So I asked Miriam if there are questions in the chat or in the questions and answers box, so we can already maybe pick up some question and try to answer.
Yeah, there's a question, but I think it's Wania. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name all right. She's asking if the opportunities are only for master students or also bachelor students too. My guess it is about, I'm not sure if it's about the Erasmus Mundus or any other sort of projects. But if you want to take over this question and answer it, it'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know. Gaia, you'd like to say something on the Erasmus Mundus?
Yes, maybe. Thank you, Alberto. So as far as the Erasmus Mundus joint master degree is concerned, as the word say, is only about master degrees program. So the target is the second cycle degree. As far as possibilities for students are concerned, as I was mentioning at the beginning of my presentation, we have Key Action 1, which is the other pillar of Erasmus Plus program, and which is more targeted on individual mobility. So it's about allowing students and staff to move and to spend a study period or a teaching period in one of the universities of the DU, and for sure one of the university of the C2U as well. But yes, as far as Erasmus Mundus joint master is only master students.
Thank you, Gaia. Are there other questions?
Yes, Lenizia Neri, she asks, do we have a platform to assess all projects being created to join or invite another countries to participate before or after the submission of the proposal? For example, if I have an idea how to invite another university or universities.
Okay. Well, actually, of course, I mean, Erasmus Plus projects can have different kind of consortiums. We are focusing on the C2U consortium, of course. So I think that we can differentiate the two kind of scenarios. What a project that is developed within the alliance itself, so it is fully coherent with the objectives and the virtual institutes disciplines that are already been identified by the alliance itself, and so 3, 4, 5, up to 8 in principle, C2 universities can put together and frame a joint project, or there also be the possibility of having an idea that involves part of institute universities, but also other universities outside the C2U consortium. So this really depends on the needs and will be evaluated case by case.
If I may add, Alberto, I think the question was also about the platform. So if we are having a platform to provide all this data, and it's not the case yet, like all projects are registered, centralized in a centralized way at the European Commission's side. And what we can offer or organize is that we can get an overview of all already funded projects. And the idea, what we wanted to create as support is, for instance, that if you are going to need partners or you are looking for an additional European partner or non-European partner, that you can, for instance, use this email address. This is the way we do it right now. So there's no platform yet, but it's a good idea if it might be possible to establish one. So until now, we would kindly ask you to use this email address when you're looking for partners, and then we are going to share it within our network of the Alliance, and sharing this information, trying to find potential partners, and then sending the informations back to you as the person who did the request. This is the way it works until now. And as we are very fresh and very young, new existing group, we take this idea with us because I think it's a good one, and it can be something we can try to work on and try to figure out in which technical way this could work in respect to data protection, because this is something we have to keep in mind, that first we need like the green light from the coordinators of the specific projects that we can share those informations, and then we also have to see that we respect all the data protection guidelines of our partners within the Alliance. I think those are crucial things, and then we can give you a more precise answer. But until now, please just use this email address.
So, Stephanie, I think I have a question for you. Andrea Micheli is asking, what is a good time to write a timeline to write a project? If you have an idea and you also have in mind partners to be involved, how long in advance do you suggest to start to work on the application, and how do you divide the work or tasks among the partners in the writing phase?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I would say, taking into account all the potential projects you just saw here, I would give you the advice to start 1 year ahead if possible. And that's the reason why we also did this webinar. So maybe you were wondering, what's the point about sharing those projects with us when the deadline is, for instance, the 6th of February, or like in case of cooperation partnerships, the 5th of March. This is in long-time perspective that you already have the information, that you can think about it, about the services we might provide for you, and to use, if you might be interested, this year as a preparation phase, to also consider that the partners you are going to select are really trustful partners. What is important as well is that you don't only should go for the EC2U partners because they are part of EC2U. You can also always, and you're totally free to decide this by yourself, also add always other partners outside of the alliance. The reason why we are promoting those informations and pointing out the importance of the alliance is that it might bring added value for the evaluation process of the proposals itself, because this is an already very well working alliance, and this is something we can always point or stress as a fact in the proposal itself. So in that respect, I think 1 year ahead always helps, because then it's not like rush, and the quality of the proposals should be a good one as well, so that you get selected. And maybe one last thing to keep in mind, when you go for the cooperation partnerships, for instance, please keep in mind that this is on a national level, as our colleague Petronella was pointing out from Yash. So you have to think about the funding opportunities on the national level. And then sometimes it's better to apply, for instance, via the German national agency or the French agency, depending on who is the coordinator. But for instance, with the capacity building project, this is really on Brussels level. So this means all applications from all over Europe are coming in for strand 1, strand 2, and strand 3. And then you will be in concurrence with all capacity building projects from the continent. So it's a very complicated topic. We don't expect you to understand everything right from scratch. So this is the reason why we are also going to offer and provide those webinars right now on a regular basis. We've thought about this at least twice per year, once in the winter term period and once in the summer term period, so that, for instance, when you are deciding that you are going to write a proposal, you might be able to address precise questions in the upcoming months to us as well. I hope that helped a bit.
So I'm going to ask like 2 questions in one. One is, are the coordination partnerships what used to be called strategic partnerships for higher education? And then, well, it would be also to sum up what we just said, what is the main difference between cooperation partnership and capacity building in the higher education program? If any of you wishes to answer that.
I can take it if you wish. So the answer to the first question is yes. The second name is an evolution of the very first one, but it's basically the same thing. And the second question is the main difference about between strategic partnership and cooperation partnership and capacity building in higher education actually is the main aim. So when we are talking about capacity building in higher education, as I was mentioning, we are talking about targeting third countries' needs and weaknesses, and trying to help them in building their capacity and strengthening their expertise and capacity to operate in the national level. When we are talking about cooperation partnership, we are talking about intra-European consortium, we can involve not European countries, but not as beneficiaries of our action, rather than added value to our own capacities. And the point there is that to help each other, sharing best practices, reinforcing our own capacity to address tackling some challenges, some problems we do have internally, let me say this, at EU level, in order to share our vision and foster and strengthen our capacity. So in the very first case, the target and the beneficiaries are not EU countries, and in the second one is EU higher education institution wanting to work together for the sake and for the benefit of their own institution and beyond, for sure.
And
Thank
maybe
you,
one.
Gaia.
So sorry, and maybe one point to add. So the overview you have here regarding the deadlines for the project, it's more or less the same. It will be more or less the same for 2026. So maybe it might change for 1 or 2 days, and then the call will always be for all the projects will be published by Brussels, normally mid-November, something like that. And that means you can more or less copy paste those dates for 2026. And that means those are the timelines that can give you a good orientation to prepare such a potential proposal. And maybe one last thing that was asked about the writing phase and how to divide the work and the task. This is a really good question about responsibilities. When you are writing, for instance, a cooperation partnership, to take this example, and you are going to apply in that case exclusively with European partners. This is the case for the cooperation partnership. In that respect, for instance, it is really important to decide from the beginning who is going to coordinate the project, right? Because this university or this unit will be mainly in charge of the main draft and also to prepare everything online and to send it and submit it in time. And then it's really important, for instance, in cooperation partnerships, that when you have, like, for instance, 4 or 3 work packages, that each partner university is going to be in charge, that they are going to be the ones saying, okay, this is what I might deliver, and then to create precise timelines by the coordination team to say, this is what we need until then. But what I might suggest, or what we wanted to suggest to you, is also to create a new webinar, maybe also on topics you might go for or you would wish. So we are totally open to your suggestions. And that means, for instance, we could have another webinar focusing, for instance, on Erasmus Mundus design measures or cooperation partnerships or capacity building, or maybe even teacher academies could be possible as well. So up to you to say what you need. And in that respect, also just use our email address to let us know what you need as more precise information, and that would be the idea for the future.
Yeah, to connect to what you were saying, Stephanie, yes, we are very open in the coming months to organize more focused and targeted kind of events. We mentioned these workshops. This could be also thematic workshops. We can try to identify some key themes among the C2U main objectives, and we can try to figure out some working groups and to try to put together different stakeholders and write in a collective way the proposals. So yeah, very open to any suggestion.
And if I saw it right in the Q&A or in the chat, there was also the question of more precise or of another examples. So this could be also the content that we, for instance, invite professors or staff members that are already active in such a project that has been accepted and funded, and that could be another topic of a webinar as well.
Yes, so just one last question that I see here. Basically, it says, is there also a possibility for a puzzle project with ECTU? And is it possible to work at 2 universities that are in the alliance? So, any of you? I guess they're referring to capacity building with higher education, I think.
Maybe I could jump in?
Please.
Yes,
Because indeed,
Please.
when we talk about the postdoc, actually, we should probably refer to the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, and actually they do not belong to the Erasmus program, but to the framework program for research and innovation, which is currently called Horizon Europe. So there is indeed a dedicated section in this Horizon Europe program of those so-called MSCA, Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions, that includes different possibilities to create networks of PhD students or postdocs. There are also some opportunities for individual fellowships for postdoc. But indeed, they do not belong to the Erasmus program. Therefore, probably this is why my colleagues felt maybe not the best expert, although I'm pretty sure they would be in capacity to respond. But in a nutshell, indeed, there are similar calls with different timelines, but basically the same rule applies in terms of the time to prepare. Indeed, typically a year in advance to a given call would be very welcome. EC2 partners can be indeed involved in the MSCA proposal. When it's about individual fellowship, of course, it would be very interesting to have a postdoc exchange or doctoral exchange within the EC2 Alliance, but this is not per se, like for the Erasmus program, mandatory. So here again, it's probably good to refer to the Horizon Europe program, where there are several opportunities indeed for the postdocs and the doctoral students, doctoral candidates. We could possibly organize a similar session with the expert group on research and innovation projects, but before we do that, every potential candidate is, I believe, welcome to contact either they would probably be very welcome at the international office of their universities, who would link them with the ad hoc experts in the Horizon Europe program, or you can also contact your research support office. But I'm sure that anyway, you can contact all these colleagues and they will guide you through the ecosystem of your university to find the right experts. So I hope it replies to the question.
Thank you, Ludovic. Indeed, probably the colleague was referring to the Horizon program, Horizon Europe program. Yeah. Good. Are there other questions?
I really don't see more questions. I think you've answered to all of them.
Okay, so if not, I mean, what we plan to do is to send these presentations to all the participants who are registered to the webinar. So in the coming days, you will receive by email the presentations. And as Stefanie was saying, we are a fresh group, so we don't yet have platforms or other tools to offer to you, but maybe in the future. So for the time being, you will receive the presentation. You can always refer to this email address, either to this email address or to the member of the task group of your belonging university. And we plan to make this recording available in maybe in some a C2U channel, but we will tell you more in the coming days. So thanks a lot for your participation, and hope to see you in the near future. And yeah, we wish you all a good day and best wishes to all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Thank you. Good
Thank
afternoon.
you.